Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good Monday morning or a good afternoon wherever you are in the world. Quite bit of an opening we had last night. Huge gap down across all equities. Same thing with gold and silver, and a huge spike up in oil last night. Um, so I do have an account this time. So depending on what we can see, I'll be taking trades live for you guys to watch. I do not have the P&L tracker on the stream yet. Still waiting on our graphics designer to make that, so they'll get implemented sometime this week. Other than that, how's everyone doing today? We have a market open in half an hour. However, I will go over some of the charts and stuff before the stream. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now in terms of what we have, the alerts we have in Q1. Let me take a look of what has been taken and what hasn't been taken. All right. NQ started the day with the gap, as mentioned. We had a bunch of C grade highs, C grade high, C grade high, P grade high, all got taken. So nothing really for us there. Dow Jones, same thing. B grade high, C grade high taken. C grade high, C grade high. Okay, taken. T grade high taken. So as you can see, the bot kind of like alerted during around midnight and early morning for most of these pairs. However, there's nothing that is currently active at the moment. Now, I won't really look at the other pairs because I don't really trade anything else. However, if you want to see a certain pair, just let me know. I don't mind taking a look at any of the pairs for you. Any of you guys have any questions regarding a pair that you're trading, we can talk about it. But if anyone has taken a trade today, we can talk about it, or talk about the price action we are seeing for NQ. I don't know if anyone has noticed, like the past few weeks for Nasdaq, we've been kind of like maybe dumping at an open. Could be a Sunday night open or any day. We've been kind of dumping, kind of just retracing the entire move. We can kind of see that multiple times throughout the week, especially last week. Dump kind of filled that gap back up. Where else have we seen that? I'm trying to see. Oh, maybe right here too. Dump, fill that gap up. Same here. So it's a constant cycle. But at this point, I don't think I'll be taking longs from here just because the RR is kind of low, and I don't really want to be caught longing towards the top of this, especially if we haven't retraced yet. So kind of patient, really patient. And I think from what I've heard the past few days, I think there's been like ongoing problems getting that passageway open up with Iran and all that. So I think that was like the catalyst for the huge drop we saw Sunday night open. But let's see what people are saying in the chat. Euro USD fill the gap. Short didn't break even. Let's take a look at Euro. I don't think I even have Euro on my watch list right now. Let's take a look at that. One moment, guys. Let me just do something real quick. I think today or this week is another pretty dead week in terms of news. I think we're approaching the end of the month, so I think is is FOMC the last Friday of the month, or is that CPI? Kind of forget sometimes. I don't even know anymore. All right, let's take a look at Euro USD. Wait, I do have it on my chart apparently. Okay. Yeah, dumped, filled that gap up. Now what we can see for Euro maybe, I have no fucking clue. Let's take a look at the Discord real quick and see what we're working with. Euro. C grade low detected at the start, taken, taken, taken. B grade low taken as well. Wait, that was Friday, never mind. Sorry about that. D grade high, taken. D grade high printed again, taken. C grade high remaining. So what we can see for Euro is probably targeting that 7 a.m. candle right there. Seems the likely target for Euro. And I think I don't really trade Euro with our alerts. However, I think Euro tends to perform really, really well. Let me look at the stats for Euro. And everyone can see. What's the forex pair for this? 6E. Is it like that? Is it 1? There we go. C grade 46 out of 56, which means we have an 82% percentage for C grade for Euro. Then very rarely we print any F grade. Okay. Anyways, let's head back to the chart and see any other pairs that I'm kind of focusing on. No, silver did not fill that gap up yet. Neither did gold. Let me see if there's a weak high for gold. No, nothing. There's still a weak high for silver, B grade high. Now let me. Hey Prophet, how are you? How's your day? Now I think JP or Max will be joining us this week, so be on the lookout for those streams. It should be a little bit easier having two hosts at the same time. But yeah, and Key's just pulling up. Really nothing. Now I think I might be interested in a silver long to that high. We do have a B grade high. Even though it's a B grade high, I think it's likely that we, at least fill this gap up that we created at Sunday night. So it's kind of pushing. However, I'm not really going to enter pre-New York session just because that's not my ideal entry time. However, I'm maybe even looking for something like this. Now let's see. So first of all, we kind of respected this low here, not going below it, which means there's still kind of some bullish structure intact. B grade low, gap not filled up. I'm kind of leaning towards a bullish pump or some bullish continuation for silver for the rest of the day, maybe at least till we get up here. But like I said, not going to enter pre-New York. We'll see what it does. Hey Clipper, how are you doing? Hey Brian, doing pretty good. Woke up like an hour ago. Um, didn't do much, but I'm also not really seeing much uh any setup this morning. NQ and like YM being my main pairs. However, if I don't find something today, that's totally fine with me. The biggest thing is following your own rules in your system. So we still have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to trade. It'll be live, those days, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. That is the plan. Yeah, really nothing much going on right now. Still, a little over 20 minutes till New York session. Hopefully, we can catch something. Also, throughout the week, I'll be dropping random prizes and like discount codes for you guys to use, especially if you're a non member. So, you know, if you're just even talking or just participating in like the chat or just hanging around, you might find a just a coupon just like in the chat. I did drop a 40% off last stream for our first stream, and we can see silver pumping up. Um, um, Kind of a weird candle. Let me see if there's anything that released just now. No, nothing. But yeah, just join the stream. You will be rewarded. Make sure of that. And as we continue to grow, it might get harder to win those types of prizes. Oh, okay. So NQ had that push up too. Interesting. CL dumping. US 30. We can check it out. Yeah, yeah. As I said, like we've been kind of seeing a dump, then we car basically like just filling up the entire gap that it created. Um, what it's kind of what's been happening, like here too. Now, could we see a huge, maybe a little correction before we continue higher? Maybe. I don't know, but at this point, I'm not really interested in any of this right now. I don't really see my deal set up anywhere here. So, just kind of waiting for New York Open. And Q still hasn't filled up the gap yet. Almost though. Really, really close. Hey, Jonathan, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Kind of a slow start to the day, though. Hopefully, we pick up more volume at open. Good afternoon, Dominic. How are you doing? See what silver's doing. Kind of continuing that bullish momentum, but no entry for me here. Now, for those that are trading today or that have traded already, what did you guys take and like what kind of setup was it, or your trading style? Just scrolling through the pairs right now. Just trying to see what we have right now. Now let me check the thing, see if anything printed just now. No, nothing really. What are we? 17 minutes till open? Okay. Now let me check the Forex calendar to see what we have next week. So next week we have FOMC next Wednesday, 2 p.m. FOMC statement, and then the first week of May, that Friday we have NFP. So the next 2 weeks should be interesting. However, this week's kind of dead in terms of news. However, with the war still ongoing, that should still create some volatility. But no, nothing today. Hey, Alex, how are you doing? No, I'm not the GOAT. If there's any pairs you guys want me to look at, just let me know. I'll try to give you a brief rundown of how I can analyze the PA and try to find a direction. All right, 15 minutes till open. NQ still pumping up pre-New York. Same with the rest of the equities right now. Gold approaching that 8 a.m. high, I believe. Silver still pumping up. B grade high right there. Gap still not filled up. So, as I said, I'm still kind of wanting that high or that gap to be filled up. I think with this B grade high, kind of gives us more of a confluence that it is likely to get taken. So that is kind of how I'm approaching this trade right now, or this idea, I should say. I'm not in the trade right now. But my day is pretty good so far. Woke up kind of early. Now just trying to catch a trade for today. Nothing yet for me. How about you? Now, if you guys have any questions for the non-members, I can talk about more about our HEMAT bot and how the alerts work and what you can expect or what the stuff you get when you join a community. And if if you guys have any questions regarding anything about prop firm trading, how to get payouts and all that. Like any tips on how to manage your risk when it comes to like trading a eval or your funded account, just let me know. I think I've been trading prop firms for nearly like four and a half years maybe now. It's gone pretty good so far. Yeah, I can, Jonathan. What pair do you want me to do it on? I'll try my best to break down what I see. Heard of Fortune's funding. Sounds kind of familiar. Uh, Let me look it up. Fortune's funding. Is it a futures or CFD firm? Seems like it's a CFD firm. I'm trying to get on the website right now, but there's like a security verification thing that I have to go through, which is kind of weird. But no, I haven't heard of it. In my opinion, if you're really looking to get into trading and like scale up, I think the best way you can do that is by trading futures firms. I think with futures firms, the cost is a little bit lower. Um, there might not be, like end of the day drawdown, which you might get in CFD firms. However, I think there's like potential for like a bigger payout. You can even, if you're good enough and get like multiple payouts within a firm, they can like give you a life account and you can trade with that, and that can give you like access to daily payouts and all of that. Um, with with my experience, right, I brought in a lot through Alpha Futures, um, and then they moved me onto a live account. I was eventually, um, given that live account, I was with them for like I think 8 months. I think then they were giving me like a monthly salary, um, on top of like what I would earn, just by trading on the account, which was pretty nice. Then I eventually blew that account somehow, but it was a good run. I was with them for like 9, 10 months, I think, from the moment I started at eval. Made a huge amount. Um, then got moved to live. Got paid a salary. Got more payouts, and my time was done. But let me see, what you wanted to top down. Yeah, let me know what you want the top down analysis to be on. Just let me know. I just reopened. It seems kind of odd if they just reopened. Only on IG and Discord. Yeah, I'm not really too familiar with CFD firms. I think when I did trade CFD firms, like the top three were probably like funding pips, futures, not futures, what is this called? Oh my gosh, um, funded next, right? Funded next, and like E8 markets, right? Now all those that I mentioned right now, funded next, E8, and uh, funding pips, right? They all have a futures side. However, I think more recently, I think a few months ago, funding pips like ceased their operations for futures. Um, Seemed like a liquidity problem, so it's kind of weird. But we're 10 minutes away from open. Uh, Really nothing much to see from here besides that silver long, um, trade idea. But it's following my squiggles right now, which is kind of good. Kind of good. All right. I blew the account. I think I like I do remember. So like at that time, I think it was towards the end of the year. Everyone saw like the huge like volatility in like gold because it kept going up, and I kept like trying to like catch the reversal. Um, then like eventually like I was like down to like eight k drawdown, 7k drawdown, five and three and two. So eventually that like I didn't have enough drawdown um to work with, so they just like told me like we're closing your account, and that's basically it. They were sister company of the Funded Trader. Oh, okay, okay. So the Funded Trader was a um firm like years ago, I think created by some guy named Angelo. Then eventually, I think they had liquidity problems, and like they they kind of closed down for a bit, then reopened up. Um, and that same guy was like also in charge of another sister company called, uh, what was it called? What was this firm called? It was called dude, I don't even remember what this firm was called, but it had like a green logo. But they owed me money too, and I never got my payout. So that's like the downside when like trading with CFD firms. Nothing's really regulated there. Um, it's all like everyone. Well, I think from I think everyone knows that like it's all like demo trading. Same with futures. However, I think with futures you kind of have that regulation within the states and all of that. So there's um, less of a chance that you are gonna get like this rug pulled. Um, but that's great that you got that 10k payout though. Good stuff. Yeah, CFD used to be booming, but now, yeah, I haven't used MT5 since I kind of like got rid of it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, that's a really good question, Clipper. I think that would depend on where someone is in terms of like their trading journey. Um, for me at least, I don't want to stay on an eval for that long. So max like maybe 3 days. Um, Sometimes I'll just full port an entire trade setup in order to get that profit target. If there's a 50% consistency rule, I'll take two trades. I'll try to pass it in like two days or whatever. But if you're still starting up, trying to figure out your setup or your trading system, and take as long as you need. Um, it's your money at the end of the day, so that's up to you. Some people just full port evals and news days, just full port, just one trade idea. Um, Others just like kind of break it down into different days or whatever. So it's up to you. Just for me, um, I like to pass my evals pretty quickly, so 2 days at least maybe. So less than 5 minutes till open. Um, Silver still kind of pushing up. NQ it's pumping, I guess, right now. Yeah, I mean, I like the 1 day pass, right? I think with a lot of futures firms, I think they do have like a 1 day pass, but the only downside is that like if you do get the 1 day pass in the eval stage, for the funded stage, you'll probably see like a 30 or 55 or for like 40% consistency rule. It's the only thing that sucks, but I think that's like worth it. Um, I think in terms of like trying to finish your or pass an eval, I think it's okay to do it much faster. However, when you're in the funded stage, take your time a bit. Build that buffer, so you get more drawdown and like you can have more to risk. Because I think based on like some like stats that like they like kind of made public, is that like I think let me try to remember. I think it's like less than like I think so. I think Top Step actually released a stat not too long ago. It was like 59% of traders blow their funded account within 24 hours. So that's more than half. And that's just because of like this over leveraging and it's probably full porting, thinking, oh yeah, I got my funded account and let's try to make money as quick as possible. So let me just full port it. Now that can work, however, for the average person, that's not going to work out. Yeah. Well, think about it this way, right? So the current account that I have right now active, right? I bought an account just so I can trade with you guys. Um, is a 50K account with my funded futures. The profit target is 3K. Um, 50% consistency roll for the eval stage, which means that I need to make at least 1500 each day um, in order to pass in 2 days, right? So I need 1500 one day, 1500 tomorrow, or let's say I get 1500 today and I get 1500 tomorrow. I'll pass the eval stage. In order for me to get 1500, I can just risk 500 bucks in for a 3RR trade. 500 will turn into 1500, and that's a 1 to 3. And that means even if I did lose that $500 trade, I still have 1500 of drawdown left over to trade with. So for the most part, for a 50K challenge, that's kind of how I break it down. Um, I want to get to that 1500 mark. Then I just risk like 500 bucks in order to get that 1 to 3 RR. Yeah, so proliferation. Yeah, we'll have guests. I think Max is quite busy right now. However, I think he'll be with me sometime this week. Hopefully, a JP will also join. And I'll have some other people too, some other traders if I can get some like people on the stream. Hopefully, some well-known people too. But that's the plan for the rest of the week, and the future streams too. Okay, so we're 1 minute away from open, maybe less than that now. We've been kind of seeing the silver push up before New York open, pre-New York session. I kind of mentioned that I kind of want to see the continuation for silver, just because we did see that gap not fill up, and we also saw a B grade high above. Then we also saw some strength below. This low did not take that previous low, which means, to me at least, there's some bullish structure still there present. But I did not take this trade. Just with my rules, I do not trade before New York session. But now we are in New York open, so let's see what we can do. New York NQ just filled that gap up. No alerts so for any of the equities right now, but I've been just kind of just pushing up right now. I assume oil's dumping. I wouldn't be surprised if we go here for the rest of the day. Silver almost had that B grade high. Kind of regret not taking that, but it's okay. I'm not gonna get too worked up on that. Happens, part of trading. It's okay to miss your setup. I'm not too worried. But the goal is to get this this eval passed this week. Hopefully, we can get something. It may not be today. However, I'm really patient when it comes to finding an ideal setup. So, I'll be taking my time. And at this rate, if you're trying to long silver right now, it's not really worth the RR because it's right near the high. So it's not really good RR. All right, to those watching the stream right now, thanks for joining. Really appreciate everything. You guys have any feedback? Much is appreciated. But right now, I'm not really seeing anything in the market. Gold took that high, and NQ kind of retracing now. Missed the 4 hour. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So NQ filled that gap up and kind of started retracing. ES still hasn't filled that gap up. A little bit more strength compared to NQ. YM filled it up. R2Y almost filled it up. Silver kind of pulling back a bit, but nothing really. Not really set up right now for me for anything. Oh, it's gonna be another boring Monday. Did anyone else take a trade today? Or does anyone trade equities during Asia session? I mean, if you kind of just long the open and waited all day, you would probably be in profit right now if you just waited for that gap to fill up for most of these pairs right here. GC long targeting the gap fill, but just close out. I thought it filled up. I guess not. Maybe. Oh, I just like edged it by like it. I don't even know how much is that, but yeah, I think they should at least go up a little bit more. But you know, if you took that gold long from like below, like here around here, great trade. Um, you know, sometimes like the heat map bot will print an alert for like in this case, right? We had that huge gap down for metals. Um, like I think this is actually a C grade low. However, I'm not willing to short it just because we still have a gap to fill up. Um, you know, as the more you get um, experience that's by looking at the chart and stuff, you'll try to see like you'll find certain patterns and stuff. Like if there's a gap fill, and there's like a weak low being alerted, and it hasn't been filled up yet, it's more likely that the gap will get filled up first, at least before that low maybe gets targeted. However, in this case, I think it should maybe just keep going up higher from here for silver. Now, I do highly recommend the complete plan. Um, just because you can look at metals, you know, the equities, energies, oil, gasoline, heating oil, natural gas, all of that. Um, or even by like just choosing the what was the other plan we have? We have essential, complete, and I don't even know what the middle one is called. But the middle tier plan that we have, I think, allows you to pick up to 3 assets, right? So that's pretty neat too. Um, but I always recommend the complete one. Because sometimes you'll notice a D grade high. This is an example. A D grade high gets taken for NQ, but there's still a D grade high for like YM that hasn't been taken, and you know there's some sort of like divergence or whatever, and you know we may see like the other equities also take that high out, but like one will not get taken out, and that will sometimes happen too. So you don't small things you'll notice sometimes. But really, really nothing to trade right now. I mean, good question, Clipper. So if I'm already bearish or bullish, and I see, so if I'm bullish and I see like a weak high, present, and it hasn't been taken yet, I'll trade towards it. Vice versa, if I'm bearish and there's a bearish target, I'll trade towards it. Um, there will be times when there's a weak high and a weak low, and sometimes they'll kind of take one out, then like make a sweep, then they'll reverse to the other weak high or weak low that it created. Um, so there's like several ways you can use the alerts to your advantage. It just depends on your system. Um, yeah, it just depends, but I typically trade towards them. But sometimes, like if example, if there's like a weak low, and you're bullish and like price action is still bullish, sometimes they'll take out that weak low before reversing. Yeah, and like I don't know if you guys are in the server right now in the premium chat, but most alerts already have been taken. There's really nothing being printed anymore, so it's kind of unfortunate right now. Um, I think the only thing that I'm kind of watching right now is just that silver high to be taken, that B grade high. But other than that, wait, is there like a little dump going on in NQ? Okay. Why am I still going up though? RTY probably as well. All right. But yeah. So it depends, Clipper. Good question though. Now I hope tomorrow is going to be a little bit more interesting because I do want to catch a trade in front of you guys. But today, a little slow right now. But I can show you guys. Someone in the server took a trade with oil. He longed oil. And let me see if I can switch this up a bit. Is my thing not showing? One sec. So in premium chat, this guy saw a weak high for gold, and he longed pre-New York session, and look, pretty insane trade that he took. So, good job, Pack, and well done. Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. Now let's go back to the stream. Silver still kind of pushing up, taking a while. However, as we approach the 10 a.m. 4-hour candle, newer 4-hour candle, we should see more volatility. And NQ is really not doing much right now. Really, really slow day. I think even last, what was it, when I was live Thursday? I think we had like a little bit more volatility present. But today this seems really, really dead to me. Good morning. How you doing, man? Have you taken any trades today? What are you up to? So for those that are like kind of in a similar situation, if you see like no setup during the day, what do you do? Just like log off. What do you guys do? I just stay like looking at the chart or whatever. Do you guys go to the gym? Do you guys do other stuff? Or are you guys still looking for a setup? Silver pushing up a bit, but still not at the target. Yeah, I just fuck off too, not gonna lie. Um, I probably just like make lunch or something, or just go to the gym. Yeah, smart, smart. Yeah, stop trading. It's not worth just waiting and just wasting your time. You could be doing other stuff, be more productive. I think um, with trading, as long as you're prepared and like have a system and like know what you're kind of doing, it's all about just waiting for the good setup. If you're like already prepared and like you have that sort of luck of having that kind of that setup in front of you, that's when you take the opportunity and like execute. And a Q, it's fucking around right now. Yeah, I do that too. And especially if you're kind of like just limited to like to only New York session, then that's kind of like the only time you have to trade. I know a lot of people still like work and trade. Um, so some people only really have like New York session to trade, but that's totally fine. I think like a few years ago I was working too, and I could only trade New York session. So I'd sometimes be on my phone just at work, looking for a setup or um, trading on my phone. Um, but I think having like the discipline to only like restrict yourself to like certain like time windows, I think that will benefit you in the long run. Hop on FC 26. I haven't played that since like last year, man. By the way, does anyone play chess here in chat? Because I think what Max and I were kind of talking about is that like we can have like a little chess game with the viewers, and like if you beat me or Max, then like you get like maybe a discount or maybe a free month. Beating Max might be a little bit tricky though. He's he's better than me, but yeah. Oh, really, really slow PA. Kind of annoying. Did you guys like know that I'm sure like you guys are familiar with Top Step, right? So their platform, Project X, right? They have a broker license, I think now, so you can like kind of trade on their platform. So what I did is that I applied to trade on their platform. Um, so I do have a live account with them now. My only worry is that I don't know if you guys like been like kind of in well kind of aware like of the whole situation like the past few months or so, but like their platform kept crashing and like just like messing up during New York Open, and it would like stop people out, and like some people wouldn't couldn't like close their trade or whatever, and it's caused a lot of issues. But I really like their platform a lot, and I see a lot of people online still trading on it, so it seems to be very 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 popular. In terms of like UI, I think it's way better than um, what like trading view offers and like trade of it and like Ninja Trader. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I've been playing since well, back when it was called FIFA like 13. That's when I first started playing FIFA. I was like I don't even know how old was I was like I was like in middle school, I think. Um Silva still not wanting to take that high up yet. NQ just bullshitting a bit. Now let's see ES for a second. Let me see. Okay. Really unfortunate though. Most of the alerts that were printed today were already resolved. So there's really nothing much we can work with right now. Uh, boring, boring Monday morning. Oh my gosh. There's really nothing today. Well, we have 10 a.m. open in a bit. No, not really, George. Um, Back when I did trade CFDs, I would trade like Euro and like some exotic pairs like Euro, I don't know, like AUD, Euro, NZD, but not anymore. I think what like really turned me off is that I think what a lot of these CFD firms would do is like kind of increase the slippage and like just add it on purpose just to screw people over. So that's kind of why I like shifted towards futures. I think there's more. I think they understand the trader much more compared to trading with a CFD firm. They'll just screw you over. So that's why I like stopped trading with CFDs. Um, oh yeah, I think I just added this here just because someone was asking it, and just like that, I think the C grade high, or was the C grade high for Euro got taken. So whoever was asking me about Euro, there you go. That grade that week high or whatever got taken right close to New York Open or right at New York Open. But yeah, but no, I don't really trade currencies. No, I prefer pork belly. No, I don't really prefer. I don't really eat pork like that. Not at all. At all. Not at all. Actually, I prefer steak. Thanks, Jay. Hope you're having a good week too, man. Thanks for stopping by. Holy shit. Okay, Silver's actually dragging it, dude. It's taking so long. Way too long than it should. Yeah, especially if you're like trading with a so I don't know if this is like the same thing with like brokers like I'm trying to name a few brokers right now. Well, I can't. What's this broker called? So let me type in euro right now. Like Oanda, Forex.com, Tickmill, Pepperstone. I think like all of those have like some sort of slippage within their broker, right? So like it's really, I don't know. I just like with trading CFDs for like a few years. I just don't really like it anymore. So like what I found out is that like I think several CFD firms had a platform called Match Trader, and I think some guy contacted Match Trader like acting as a rep for one of those CFD firms, and like they were like, how can we adjust the slippage and stuff, and like there was an option um, for that, like an option built into Match Trader to just like fuck people over, and that's how like CFD firms just like really don't care about their people like that. You know, it's not regulated, right? So they can kind of do whatever they want. Please, Silver, take that high from me. No, I've actually never heard of Fusion before. And if you think about it, most CFD brokers aren't really regulated in the USA. Maybe there's like a few, like Wanda. Actually, I don't think even Wanda is regulated in the US. I don't think so. There's not many though that I can name. So, question for the guys in Europe. For the guy for us here in the U.S., right? We had our tax deadline last week, but I like filed mine way before that. When is like tax season for you guys over there? Is it around the same time? I don't know. Or does it vary depending on like where you live? Or is it like same across Europe? I don't know how it works over there. Oh, April. So only one month you have to file. Okay, interesting. All right, we have a no 4 hour candle in a minute. Might be less than that now. Um, let's see if silver can take that high out. All right, it's 10 a.m. now. Let's see. Let's see. Should maybe like do a little pullback, then go higher. I hope. Hmm. Oh my gosh, this price action got me yawning. So boring. Let's look back at actually. Let's look at other stuff too. Oil, copper, platinum, nothing, nothing. Pulling back a bit. YM. Okay. Yeah, really unfortunate. Today we have all the alerts that were printed for the heat map bot were printed like during London, before New York, or even during Asia, and they basically all got filled up or whatever. They're not active anymore. So we were left with basically nothing for New York session, which is really unfortunate. But if there's really nothing much for New York session, then I don't want to keep you guys just like um, staring at nothing all day or like for another hour. So we might wrap it up soon. Um, It just varies on PA. Unfortunately, nothing was taken today. Um, but for those that joined kind of late, um, we were kind of targeting the silver high. Still not taking it, but it could still be taken. Um, but I think tomorrow Max will be joining me. So for those that have like any technical questions or like trying to understand the how the alerts work more, he will be here to explain it a little bit more. Um, but I think I might just cut this stream a little short today. This is going to be an hour today. There's really nothing much for us to do. However, tomorrow, if there's a good PA, we'll hopefully take something and you know stick around a little bit more. But if anyone has any other questions, we can go over something real quick. However, we might just end it real soon. Really nothing. It's really nothing to look over. Really boring right now. But same time tomorrow, same time Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Um, as I said, um, you know, keep joining the streams. Try to be engaged in chat, and you might be able to get maybe a free membership for a month or so. Who knows? But we got stuff cooking for the stream. We got stuff. We're always trying to like improve the way um, we handle the Discord, handle our product, looking ways to improve anything that we can for our members and non-members. So there's always going to be something for everyone. That's the plan going forward. Other than that, I appreciate everyone that joined the stream. Sadly, the PA is not really doing anything today. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. same time, and hopefully we'll be able to catch something together. Anyways, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day, and